Shred! Welcome to You Guys Shred. When the van catches fire, the venue has no AC, and you have to wake up your vampire bassist right before the show starts. I am your host, Keaton Stewart.
I'm your co-host, Tyler Christensen.
If you guys like what we're doing and want to support the podcast, please subscribe, share, and review. We're on all the social medias, all the things. I take that back. We're just on Instagram and TikTok.
And YouTube.
And YouTube, yeah. You can check us out on YouTube. You're probably listening on Spotify, so cool. Thanks for listening. Today's guest is one of our oldest friends, Jesse Moran, and his band Blood Moon. They just dropped a brand new EP, self-titled, 5 songs, out now. Check it on out. Please enjoy Blood Moon. How's it going, guys? Thanks for coming on the show.
Yo, what's up? What's good?
The old Blood Moon.
Yes, the old You Guys Shred.
Oh, fuck.
Pleasure to be here, boys.
Oh,
Hell yeah, dude.
Thanks for having us on our podcast.
Thanks for letting us be. Thanks for being here. You be here, we be here.
Thank everybody for being here.
So we usually like to start out with how we know the guests, and you and me, thee and me, if you will, have been friends for a really long time. But I guess it really starts with you two, because you two knew each other before I ever met you, and then I met them through you, basically.
Yep. So true.
How were we friends? Was it through Chase and that, or was it Suede? I feel like
I
it might
think
have
it
been
was Suede.
Well, you were
I think
in
it was
Fjord
Suede.
as well.
Yeah. But even then, I don't know how. Like, I don't remember how Jesse ever came into that band. I think it was through Suede.
He just showed up one day.
I think Suede, and then Suede was friends with Chase, and then I joined with those guys, and then you knew them somehow. But anyway, we ended up playing together for a while, and then you guys kicked me out because I did football.
And then flash forward to when I finally, we started hanging out. We started our high school band, The Void, which is 20,000 other bands named.
Jesus, yeah.
But it was actually pretty sweet though, because it was like the 3-piece, and we were just instrumental at first with Thackeray Minson.
Yeah.
You got for one show we had like a random dude that sang. It was
stint.
Weird as fucking yeah. And then we broke up because I joined these guys.
Yep.
And then we kicked you out too.
Yeah, then the same thing. Jesse was actually there. You were there that day. You remember?
I think.
Yeah, you were there. I went to
refresh my memory.
So we went up. I picked up my stuff from his house. We showed up at it was like a Salem high school thing. Mm-hmm. We showed up to load the gear in, and that's when Suede or whoever was yeah, you're out, because I had joined I Capture Castle.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, we were in that band.
And then we were in I Capture Castle.
And the emphasis of this podcast is bad shows and stuff. And I feel like. I guess we could start with that, dude. Where it's Warped Tour 2014. Mm-hmm. We were the third band or something to play that day on our Ernie Ball stage. Yep. It was it was hot as fuck. And
gray shirts.
Yeah, gray shirts. Yeah, can't forget the gray shirts. And we're setting our shit up, getting our pedals, getting tuned. Everything's getting set up for the thing. But it's a festival, and the first band went beyond their set. So as we're setting our stuff up, trying to hurry together, they're you're 5 minutes into your set. I'm what the fuck?
Already, dude.
Yeah, that sucked. And then for some reason, I think my pedal board at our band room, which if people want to know, the Paper Walls music video was filmed there.
It was filmed in there, yeah.
But I had my pedal board plugged in, and you tripped over the cable and ripped it out the day or something before. So I was trying to get my pedal board to work, and it wouldn't work. So when I wasn't playing, it would just make this crazy noise. So I had to just ride on my volume pedal the entire show. It sucked. If you remember that. And then also after we got done, it was so hot that I had these weird bubbles all over my.
I remember
that was fucking weird.
It was a heat rash. It was a heat rash.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it sucked. It sucked.
God.
But then
Warped Tour, dude, crazy time.
Yeah,
it was
but I guess
that one show.
Yeah, true. And we played some other fun shows, and there was other problems as usual.
There was a bunch.
But I think flash forward to kind of our logo here with the van on fire. If you remember this, we were going down to play a show, Cedar City.
Somewhere down
there. Cedar. Take me home to the Cedar City. And then. So we had borrowed this other local band's van beneath Red Skies.
Good old Chevy van.
Yeah, it was this poop green color, and we were heading down there and having a good old time. And right as we hit, I don't know where Beaver or something is, the van starts to overheat.
Dude.
And we're oh shit,
it was in the summer.
Yeah, it was in the summer, super hot as well. So we're we'll just pull over on the side of the road. We'll let it cool down, and then we'll keep going. So we pull over to the side of the freeway. We're letting it cool down. We all get out of the van, and all of a sudden,
like the radiator.
Yeah, it just catches fire, just starts smoking, and we're all just standing there, just like looking at it.
Yeah, what do we do? We're just standing in the middle of
Travis
nowhere.
McKell, our bass player, just starts laughing at us because we're all just looking at it with our mouth like. And he's just laughing at us. We're like, what the fuck? It also wasn't our van, so we felt bad.
Oh, yes.
Some guy came by, had his buddy, which is like the next exit over, that had
Was
like
it
a machine
a farmer
shop.
overall guy?
Yeah. Had the tow truck come, so we were still in the van. They pulled us on the tow truck. We get down to this like Subway gas station combo, and that was just a whole shit show trying to figure that out. Get in the
seriously.
van. Long story short,
Somehow we made it.
Yeah, somehow we made it.
And it was like a radio festival thing.
Yeah, and we tried to also, like, I remember we were sitting around trying to figure out what to do because we couldn't get other people to come and pick up the trailer and get us to the gig or whatever else, which we didn't. But we tried to still, like, a street sign. Do you remember that? There was, like, a street sign we tried to still.
I think so. Yeah, we were walking around.
Yeah, until, like, girlfriends and wives and things came down to pick us up and we left.
Yeah, it was like a desert. It was like a desert, just like parking lot. It was like a
Yeah.
whole bunch of dust, and we would just walk around, and there was like old like
nothing to do.
fence like broken down and everything. Looks like hills have eyes. Probably gonna get murdered out there.
Probably, as usual,
God.
as usual. But and then I guess kind of flash forwarding to Blood Moon. You guys played our album release show. Thank you, by the way.
At
At the right. And this, I think, I've been saving
The
these.
hottest show ever.
I've been saving these stories for you guys.
Hottest
About
show of the
time.
summer.
But this is my
Seriously,
favorite
dude.
thing. I tell everybody this. This is my favorite thing. One of my favorite thing Jesse's ever done. I think it was
Wow.
only like two songs in or something. You got on the mic because there was no AC. They had this like janky ass like water cooler. It was just like a tub, like a
Dude.
one
Yeah, it
of
was
those,
like-
plastic tub
it was
with
like a
water
fan.
and a $20 fan.
Yeah,
right.
Like a box fan.
And you got on the mic and you go, what the fuck? There's no AC in here. They just got one fan. What the fuck? It was so funny because it's like
just
we
called
walked
out.
in.
Shots fired, dude.
Dude, no, I loved it because we had never played there before. We booked the venue. They had all these weird rules already where they're like, girlfriends can't can't come in.
backstage.
Yeah, like just a bunch of weird shit. We're like, what the fuck? Let our girlfriends come in for free. This is
Yeah, it was
ridiculous. We're
weird.
not having them pay. Shit like that. And then they have this like almost like $20,000 soundboard and no AC.
And no
in
AC.
this garage of a venue. We're like,
they
what
blew
the
all their
fuck are you?
budget.
Yeah,
You
on
can't
that.
close the door or anything. It just
You can't go get another $20 fan at least or something. Like
One,
what
dude,
the?
at
Yeah,
least.
Side of the
seriously.
stage.
I think
I
our
remember-
buddy went and got like ice to put in it because he's like, this is ridiculous.
Dude, it was ridiculous. I remember seeing pictures. This dude was wearing cutoff shorts, like the oldest shoes ever, no shirt. I'm like, yeah,
'Cause it was
this-
so hot, we were all dying.
We just picked him
Yeah.
up off the side of the street. We're like, you know how to play bass? You know how to
Yeah,
play
come
bass?
come with us, man.
I think the case of my bass was warping once.
I remember
It was
that,
hot.
dude.
This summer was hot.
Was that the
Well,
flight?
also-
Was that the
Was that
flight
the
case?
Gaia Nights, I think.
Was that
you
the
know?
flight case?
Yeah, like my case
my
warped.
God, dude.
But somehow I came back to normal after. But yeah, it was warping. Dude. Like,
I remember as well as you guys were you're having like the same kind of problems with your pedals. I remember that as you guys were playing your pedals. Something was going on with your
Something,
pedals.
always.
Yeah.
well, that one was like the bottom one. Like that was probably just been the worst one. But
Yeah,
We survived.
but it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, I mean, you guys can obviously roll with the punches and whatever else, but it's still one of those things as another musician, you're always like, feel for that because you're like, oh, I hate being in that position. Like seeing you like have to figure out, try to fix
I know,
the
like,
pedals
one,
and you're like,
one
God
hand here,
damn
one
it.
hand in the pedals. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to troubleshoot and you're
Oh my
like, it's
God.
anxiety. You're like, I'm
Checking
sorry.
every fucking
That's the
cable.
worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
They're like, hey,
Absolute
we're ready
worst.
for you. And you're like, oh, you're like, what do I do?
Looking at
Okay,
your
well-
bandmates like, yo, what's going on? And you're like, I don't fucking know.
Well, the same thing is when we were playing, I was having problems with my pedals and shit too. So I don't know if it was their power issue or something because my shit
Sure, they
kept
didn't
going
have
off
great
too.
power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, my shit kept having problems too, and it was pissing me off. So we didn't have the best show either because of that, power or whatever else. But
When in doubt, just go straight in, dude.
that's what I ended up doing. I think after getting pissed off, I just unplugged, went right into the amp.
Yep.
But I mean, and then from there, you guys just recently released your first record, 5-song EP, Blood Moon, self-titled.
Little EP.
Yeah, it's a rocker of a record. Congrats, guys.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a good one.
That was a whole process in its own. That was recorded by Archive Recordings. Wes Johnson, he's the man.
Mr. Wesley.
Shout out
Yeah.
to Wes.
Yeah, he's a genius. He's a genius, and yeah, it was cool. The compound, like the warehouse where we recorded that at, it was a cool time. We were there for like 5 days, and we had already had the songs written. So we just went in there and really just solidified everything and just went over, make sure everything was sounding good.
Yeah, because we did for our record that we're about to release as well. We went in to do some drum tracks there and just did like a day there. We did some drum tracks and some live tracks. It's a really vibey, really cool room. I like that a lot.
Oh, you guys went to Archive?
Yeah, just to do
yeah.
like 4 drum tracks, and then we did some like every time we do the vinyl, we do secret tracks that are only on the vinyl.
Oh, sick.
So we just jammed in a circle, and it's like. It's just got a really good vibe, that place, and I kind of wanted to you know was mentioning that your guys' recording process and then like writing process, because I think we're pretty similar in where most bands these days don't get together and jam and write in a room anymore. They do it in the computer. You guys, if I'm not mistaken, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys write and practice and like do that all in the same room.
Yeah, we mostly, Jesse will show up to practice with some kind of riff or something that we can work on, and usually we've heard it before, so we'll play through something, and then once we play it a few times, we'll refine it, and then if we like it and we want to keep it, we'll just keep writing on it until it becomes
Yeah, because if it that's the best way to tell. Because if it's like you're all in the room, you're jamming. If it doesn't vibe, you instantly know it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Move it on.
Scratch it.
Yeah, scratch it. Move on to the next thing, which is cool because then everything when you guys went into the studio with everything was already developed, written, already together. And then did you guys do the live tracking together? I mean, you did individual.
It was separate. It was
we still
individual.
do it separate.
Pretty much how it would go. I would record like the guitar or something, and then he would go in and just like
Lay down
layers
the
and
drums,
then every other instrument. I think next
So I
time
had
though.
the scratch track, the scratch tracks for both the bass and the guitar when I showed up.
Yeah.
So I was able to just sit down and just bang everything out right there, without having to sit around and wait for everything else to be put together.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
makes
think
sense.
I think the next time I want to do like the Beatles and just go in one room and then just like have everything all plugged in and then just like jam so it has a more organic feel, because I mean from other bands like we would go through and like it was a lot of pre-production and you would go in there and like try and refine everything and fine-tune everything so
Right.
much it almost takes the magic out of it, and it just
Especially
sounds
for
very,
this type of
Well, it
music
takes
that
a lot of
we're
time.
playing.
Yeah. It does.
That's another thing too. Like, being able to just play in the room, and there's also chemistry that kind of vibes off each other.
Right.
When you're in the room.
For
So
sure.
when you can all do that tracking together, and then if you need to do vocals separate or overdubs next, because we kind of did like you just said, same process as you, and we're gonna do the same thing for the next record, and we're gonna do that where we all play in a room. Because when we did those live tracks, it's just so much better. It's like playing live or rehearsing in the band room. You know what I mean? Because you're already used to doing that. Why not do
Right.
that for recording?
I've heard that doing the recording all at once in one room and then doing the tape instead of the digital, I've heard that it gives it this like
Yeah.
texture, like almost like old school. And if you put that in a vinyl, even better,
Exactly.
Hell yeah,
That's
dude.
what it's
Yeah.
meant to be. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because especially, I mean, there's a reason like those records still hold up today. All the Beatles and Zeppelin and all
Rolling
those records.
Stones.
Yeah. There's a reason they're still like really really great. And like we were talking about the polished sound of other things is sometimes not. I mean, depends on what you're doing.
Depends on what you're
It's
going for.
everyone has different tools and ways to approach it. But I think for like what we're doing and you guys' rockin' tunes, you got to do that.
More organic. Let's
But
breathe.
Well, I mean, I just want to say, sitting there on the drum set with just your headphones on and listening to the tracks and everything, it's just not even near the same as, it's not as explosive as if you're all playing together and you really feel that,
Yes.
that
Yeah.
feeling, you can kind of drive that a little further, and I just think you get more out of it. So that'd be an interesting
Yeah.
run around.
Say explosive again.
Explosive.
That's how we started this.
Oh
or end it.
baby.
Yeah.
Explosive.
Well, and the thing about that too is like every take you do, you're playing to the same exact guitar take, so it's like you're always playing to the same thing. But whereas if you're live tracking it like all in the same room, every time's going to have just a slightly different like
little different.
emotion,
it's
feel, or
nice.
something.
Yeah. It's so much better. I like that so much more.
Explosive.
And explosive.
More explosive.
Explosive.
Thank you.
Takeaway from this podcast: explosive.
Explosive.
That better be the name of your next
Blood
album.
Moon, new
Yeah,
album,
that's the new song
explosive.
title.
like Dr. Dre or like
So for instance, like a tune like Entire Lifetimes, where you guys snuck in there a little organ.
Oh, yeah.
I love
Oh,
that.
that was
I love
key.
that.
Okay, I
that
want
was
him.
funny.
I want him to tell me about how he came up with that little weird sound in Entire Lifetimes.
He did that on the fly.
Well, I gotta start with this one because, like, as soon as Wes mentioned, like, what if we try like some keyboard?
Did you use the old Hammond that he has in there?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
we
such a
tried. We
sick-
tried a different couple things actually, but I think we ended up using that one, right?
Well, how it started, it was like this little.
It's the stylophone,
Oh, right.
So he
It
has
has like the pen.
I
It has,
started
the
just
pen,
like
you
playing with it, and we kind of came up with some tunes to add on it, and then we tried the organ. We tried a few different things. I don't know which one actually we ended up using.
It was the old organ.
It was the
The
organ.
Hammond
okay.
organ,
The
yeah.
melody.
I think it is that too, because it just those organs are so like they sound so good.
It was cool.
There's-
So,
yeah,
it
you
was
can
pretty
instantly
rad.
like pick it out. I feel like when there's those Hammond
yeah,
organs.
it was cool.
Yeah,
so
I
it started
would-
off like the melody started off on like it's like a toy pretty much, but like it
The-
was cool.
yeah, the little
Yeah, and then we took it, and then so Wes pulled out the organ into the hallway, and then we just like went from there. And he had the controls, and we had headphones and stuff. He's like, rip it again, just go again.
Yeah, just vibe it out.
Until
Yeah.
finally vibe it out, and then we just let it down. And it's like this cool thing. It's like an earworm. It just keeps going through the whole song, even when it's not there. You
Yeah.
can still hear it.
And,
So
but it's also it complements it well because it's not too far forward, it's not too far back, it's right where it needs to be in the song. Like, 'cause especially, I mean, obviously you can always translate when you play things live. Obviously you can't unless you get a Hammond organ to come play with you guys. But like, it really
Which would be
feels
cool.
like when you guys are getting into like the more breaker down where it's dun 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 dun, and you have that kind of filling in between. That's really cool. It like just I don't know. It's got that like through line through the song.
I feel like it carries this feeling of like nostalgia, dude. Like the
Yeah.
sound is like the grain of it. You're just going through driving on like a sunny day, like on the coastline or something. I don't know, dude. Entire Lifetimes was
It
the
feels
vibe
it
of
feels it feels right, but it's like I think the first time I listened to it, I didn't really pick that out because it just fits right. Then the second listen is like, oh, there's the Hammond organ in there.
Yeah.
That's got to be.
It just sounds like that, like old school kind of like vibrato
Yeah.
thing that he has,
That's what the 60s vibe.
I just
yeah,
love that
so
shit.
good. Dude.
We-
Yeah, he's
we-
got the rotary speaker. Yeah,
Yeah, it has, like-
Yeah.
We even
So Wesley-
experimented a little bit with the real piano that was out there too. Like we're trying to see which
which sound fit.
wanted,
Yeah,
wanted to fit.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
when we first did that, I wasn't quite sure how I felt about
you're
it.
like, guys,
I
you
was
had to
a
let it
little
grow
iffy.
on you.
I'm like, why are we fucking around here? Like, let's just lay the track down. Like, why are we trying to throw all this new shit in there? But then once it actually came out and we heard it all put together, it was 100% worth the effort and the time it took to do it, because it did just add a little bit of extra salt and pepper to that I think it needed to really make
Texture.
it stand out.
Some
Yeah,
texture.
I think some tracks need that, and it sounds perfect when you guys do it live, anyways. I mean, obviously you could add in the organ if you wanted, but
Foisey.
it's nice to have it's nice to have the two. We have a couple tunes like that too, where it's obviously the live version is different than the recorded version,
Yep.
and that's
Yeah.
fine.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
the beauty of recording that way versus all live together, because then you can kind of take some time to break the song down. You're like, oh, are there parts that we could kind of mess with or maybe go on a different instrument or something like
Like-
that?
Yeah, that's the
It's
kind of
true.
fun thing of creating in the studio.
I
too,
ended
is
up-
just
Definitely.
the two hands.
I ended up feeling like I wish we could have add more stuff like that to other songs. Like I think that's the only song we ended up doing something like that to.
Yeah,
But there were like other songs that when we were actually in there putting it down, I mean, we did change, quite a few bits and pieces. I mean, especially for me on the drums, there were just times that Wes would say, hey, like maybe don't do that. Let's try something like this.
yeah.
So just kind of going through right there on the fly and just kind of like rewriting little parts. But it was nice to know that we've got the song down, but we can kind of separate it out and structure it and really make it tight, and get the right sound that we want. And that was really nice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like you said, like that magic of that studio magic that you can get creative and like, hey, what if we add this? What if we add that?
Yeah,
You
and
know,
it's
like,
fun to play around for sure.
Me and
If you have the time.
if you have the time.
me
The
and
funds.
Wes, well, exactly.
We
like,
did
you know,
fall
like,
a little short.
we were a little short, but I spent some time with Wes just like playing with the delays, trying to add some layers to like, there's a couple songs I think that has like a few extra things,
Yeah.
Quite a bit of like little flavor in there.
For sure.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you gotta add a little spice here and there for sure.
You get like an outside perspective, because obviously you're in your music so much that when somebody
Right.
else from the outside is like, oh, I'm hearing this right here. You're like,
Yeah.
I never could have imagined that because I've just heard the same song so many times.
Yeah,
Like a
it's nice to have a
non-bias,
fresh
yeah.
ears onto it. Yeah, because the producer ends up kind of being like the extra member of the band,
For sure.
and being
Oh, yeah,
able
of
to like
course.
give you a
'Cause they-
different view on it.
They hear all the stuff that you don't. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
for
you've been
them-
playing it and practicing it so much, you're just used to doing it the way you do it. So you're like, oh, I didn't think about trying this or something.
Yeah, and he's like worked with different bands, and so has heard like a full spectrum of sounds. And he's like, maybe we could try this. Maybe we could add a little bit of thing to give a little bit of feedback of how your songs could be better. And so I don't know. I don't try to turn away feedback always. I'll
especially
try
from
and
somebody like that.
Yeah, he had actually amazing ideas. Like,
Yeah, Wes is. Yeah, we like Wes. When we recorded there, we didn't. necessarily used him. He kind of hung around and kind of had
who'd you
second
guys-
ears. But
Who'd you guys work with?
Blue.
Uh-huh.
But we were just doing drums and some live tracks. So when we'd have questions or whatever, he was right there to help out and everything.
Sick.
But yeah, it's a good room for sure.
Yeah.
Kind
I
of
could
moving.
live in there. I
Yeah.
could just live in there, dude. Like, Wes, let me live in your space.
Just join him in his
couch
little
is the
apartment
best.
above.
Yeah, seriously.
He's like, "Kid, let him sleep on the couch. Come on, Wes, let him sleep on the couch.
There's a bed. I'll sleep on the floor. I don't care.
I don't care. Oh, I'll clean the
Hey,
toilets.
there is a spare bedroom in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the resting one with like 5 beds.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when you guys kind of just bringing it back a little bit, like how did the Blood Moon like band start? Because obviously, Jesse, you've been trying to do your own thing for a little bit. How did you meet these fellas, and how did you start jamming together and writing, and like how did that start?
Well,
It's a good story.
Because I mean, I know the first name you guys, it wasn't Blood Moon. We
No.
don't have to talk about that. But
No.
it was a different name. It was a different name.
it was a different name. Yeah.
15 names later.
Seriously,
Yeah,
dude.
I mean,
so
that's the worst part about being in the band is trying
It's
to
true.
fucking choose a damn name.
it's true.
Yeah, I want to hear that. I don't know the old names, dude.
I guess that was before you joined the band.
Yeah.
Like when you joined the band, it was already Blood Moon, I think. But so
Yeah,
it
it
started
was.
off. It started off. I guess I've always just made videos and just put them out
Yeah,
up there on like
yeah.
YouTube.
A lot of those the songs that are on this record, I remember seeing you like, for instance, cigarettes and
Smoking
alcohol,
a
right?
drink.
Smoking a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one I remember when you I think you probably had that morning came up with it and then posted the video,
Right.
just like maybe not the whole song, maybe just like the
jamming.
chorus or
It
something.
was like
yeah.
like the main hook.
yeah,
You know?
so you could
Yeah.
see like the progression of how long you guys have worked on this until
Right.
yeah. So
So then, yeah, I was just like, come up with stuff, sitting in my room, just like sometimes acoustic, sometimes electric, sometimes literally just like humming a tune and trying to solidify it. So I would put it up on like Instagram or YouTube. And then I did that for a while. And then I was doing photos at Crucial Fest. Ran into this guy, Foisey.
Yeah.
And I think he was a little wasted.
do you
but
remember which Crucial Fest?
I
It was
cried that
one.
day,
It was,
Jesse.
it was one at the.
So
I think it was the State Fair Park.
Was it like 2018,
Maybe
19?
it was like 4 years ago or something. So
Okay.
It would have been 2018, right?
Yeah, it was like 4.
So
like
you just
3 years.
randomly run into
like
this,
3
like
years
physically
ago.
run into him, or
Like, yeah, we were just like, people were like filtering out, of the venue outside of the State Fair. People were kind of leaving. And I saw him and I was like, wait, that kind of looks like a familiar face. And we kind of just got closer and closer.
and then
it
we
was
started kissing,
And
and
then it was
one thing led to another. Our
was
shirts
so
were
really
off.
romantic.
It was sunset on the beach.
Well, no, there's
Where did this margarita come from?
there's a
Pina
little
colada.
bit more to this story. Is I met Jesse at the Provo Town Center Mall. He came in and asked for a job when he was 16.
I guess that was before how we
He
first
had a-
first
Yeah, he
met.
had a big old afro and just.
Oh
this
wait,
little
you
skater
at
kid.
Journeys?
Yeah,
Dude.
Journeys.
No way!
He gave
This
me
goes
the
all the way
fir-
back to Journeys. I
he gave
remember
me
when
the
you worked at
first job.
Journeys.
Yeah.
Did you hire Suede as well?
Is
I think that was after. I think that was
Yeah.
Spainhauer.
Yeah.
Spainhauer.
But either way, he came in super shy, needed a job, and I just was like, you know what, I'm going to give you a chance. And he was fantastic. He worked for me clear until I left. And then I had never heard from him or seen him ever again. So then we were at Crucial Fest, like 4
Which how many
years.
how many years had gone by?
It was
Like
Yeah,
probably
you
like-
sold me
like
some
s-
shoes.
It was probably like 4 or 5
Slanging
years
those
later. I hadn't heard or seen anything from him, and then just all of a sudden, we ran into each other, and he starts telling me, "Oh, you gave me my first job. You helped me out so much. Like I'm in barber school now. Here's my card." And he's like telling me how good he's doing, and I'm just like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I helped." And
Look, he's
I-
crying right now.
I literally cried. I literally did. I felt like, oh my God, I actually like helped this dude out. Like this is awesome. And then,
which you did. I'll give you that. Like I'll definitely tell you for
It
sure.
was
because,
he needed that job, man.
well, hey,
to pay
that's-
court fines.
Yeah. Hell yeah! At least it went
I
to
really
a good
did.
cause.
I really did.
But
You pierced my ears, man.
in Journeys,
No, in your mom's bathroom.
No, that's someone else.
someone else. I pierced this chick's septum at Zoomies when I worked in there, which is
Oh,
it was
God.
sanitary. It was sanitary. I had gloves.
Yeah,
it was
the
a sterile
Zoomies
needle.
bathroom for
I'm just
sure,
letting you know.
sanitary.
Don't take me to jail again. Just kidding. I've never been to
Whoa.
jail. I've never been to jail. right to jail.
Don't let me forget. I have
jail.
another
Yeah.
Jesse story about the state fair because we were talking about
my
that.
God.
But
So
just real quick after that, I had seen that he'd posted stuff on Instagram and on YouTube, and they were just really cool, like blues rock songs. And I had been kind of looking for a different kind of band to play with, or different style of music, getting out of metalcore and hardcore, and wanted to do something kind of blues rocky.
So it was
bar
kind of
rock.
you that mentioned to him, like, yeah, man, let's jam.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
I told him
he reached
straight
out
up,
to me.
I
He
said,
reached out to me.
I don't know if you play with anybody or you have a drummer, but if not, like, let's fucking jam. because I like what you're doing. I'm into it. Like, let's do it. And literally a couple of weeks later, I think it was like right after Christmas, we got together and jammed for the first time, and it was
like
fucking
winter.
magic.
So how long ago was it just you two before Mr.
I think it was like a year.
Fernando
Like a
came
year
in?
and a half.
Fernandito.
That's how we feel when I hear names like that. It's like Jesse
God.
sounds pretty like Enrique. Fernando.
That's your middle name.
Enrique.
Enrique is your middle name.
I'll just go by that.
Yeah.
It's more sexy.
I,
Do you have to whisper?
More sensual.
Do you
I
have
call
to
him
whisper?
Enrique when I'm mad at him.
Chistes.
Oh, sounds like my mom, dude. But okay,
Oh my God.
I'm gonna touch base, I guess. So I was jamming with Foisey for like
Espadas.
his, oh my,
Burrito.
in high school, instead of saying it's badass, we'd do espadas.
because the one guy he had little mustache in like 11th
In high school,
grade,
yeah.
and then he would always say badass, and it sounded like
Is
he
this
was from Mexico,
espadas?
and so we would just
We'd
kind
always
of coin that.
Pes espadas.
Espadas. We would just play all those sports they make you do in gym class and shit,
Yeah.
and we'd
Oh my God. Speaking of,
Espadas.
we're gonna just be jumping all over. So you can see how he's got like dreadlocks here.
Yeah,
Obviously,
No,
I
what?
can see that.
What?
So obviously,
No way.
in high school, we were in gym class, and we'd always have to be running around the fucking gym, right? And me and some other dudes are running, and Jesse obviously fucking hauls ass, and he runs past us, and he goes, "Here I come, I am cinnamon," and just keeps going in his hair like that.
Hell yeah,
Do you remember
dude.
those old commercials, the cereal commercials?
What was it? Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Yeah,
Here
you
I
did
come, I
that.
am
And Cinnamon
cinnamon.
runs past us, and his hair is swaying. It was so fucking
Oh my
funny.
God,
we had to
dude.
stop. We were crying. We had to like lay down and like cry.
We
because that
were
was so funny.
tyrants, dude. Everywhere we went, we were tyrants, dude. Hell,
True.
that's why we're friends. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, we got matching
That one.
tattoos.
Yeah, we have matching
I was
tattoos.
gonna say like I've seen that on.
Oh, shit.
Is that
Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah.
the same one.
But
I
you
know.
were mentioning the state fair, and the first time we ever went to Warped Tour in high school.
I think it was
Do
there.
do you remember? There was this guy going up and down the line while we're waiting to get in.
Sunglasses.
Yeah, yeah. He's got his shirt off. He's got whatever, some weird tattoos. He's just going up and down. Who wants some fucking sunglasses?
Yeah, that was me.
Nobody will make out with you if you're squinting.
No one will make out you if you're squinting all day. And just like going through, just super, super funny. He goes up to Jesse and he starts chatting with Jesse. He's like, "It was your birthday. Or
Oh, yeah.
your birthday was like
Everybody
the next
came
day."
to my birthday, yeah.
Right, right. So he's like, "You can give me some free sunglasses, man. It's my birthday." And he's like, "No, man, I won't do that. But you do have some wicked sideburns." He's like,
Oh my god, yeah, dude. That's the only thing that would
He
grow
was
on
like,
my
yeah,
face was
yeah,
sideburns.
And you're like, "Oh, I've had these babies since 8." He's like, "You know what that means? Pubes at 4."
He was at 4. Jesus Christ, dude. I'm glad you remember that, dude. I've been smoking
one of-
too much weed to
yeah.
remember all that shit.
It's one of my favorite moments for sure.
Allegedly.
All right, so
Allegedly. So, met with Foisey.
yeah,
we
yeah,
jammed,
so
we
when you
jammed
finally
for
got
like,
in the band.
We jammed
Right.
for
Oh,
like
that's
a
a
year.
story, too.
We jammed for like a
But
year.
like, how did you find him? Like Craigslist, or you just went
yeah.
down to the corner
On
and picked him
Tinder.
up?
It was a
On
naked
Tinder.
orgy.
We found him in a cat house somewhere in Nevada.
I love
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
We're just
Trying
like
tricks.
hanging out at night one night randomly, right?
Well, okay, so I had met you quite a few times at Twilight, but
Really?
you were always wasted and you never remembered. And so
I forgot you were a fan of that movie. Yeah.
Aren't you the werewolf?
Oh yeah, dude. I'm Team Edward.
Oh yeah. Oh, that dude, I've never even seen those. Oh
So
my
you guys
God.
hanging out at Twilight
So
Lounge,
drinking, hanging out, like obviously the long hair.
smoking a drink.
Smoking a drink, obviously always. And so long hair hippie guy, I'm like, this is my guy.
This is my guy.
And we were hanging out, and then
This guy fucks.
this guy fucks, dude. Jesus Christ. And then,
behind the
so
dumpster.
we were hanging out one night before Turkey Day.
Oh, let me-
One day before Turkey Day, I show him a demo that I had with
Right.
me and Foisey, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm looking for a bass player," and he's like, "I play bass." I'm like, "Yeah, I fucking know. That's why I'm showing you the demo, dude, because like I need a bass player." And I'm like, "We've met like 5 times before, like a handful of times."
Really?
Did you not remember?
He's like, "What? No way."
You
dude.
didn't remember?
It's like, yo, this is sick. Who is this?
This is sick. Who is this? I'm like, "Me, dude. Us." Like,
Well, like it's totally true, like, cause I don't remember things like, you know, when everybody when you end up drinking with someone that plays music, you're always like, yo, just
Let's
jam one day,
jam,
you know?
let's
Yeah,
jam.
you
And
forget.
like
yeah.
more than half of the times that doesn't happen. That's sometimes.
yeah.
Right.
But he hit me up like, yeah, like that next Tuesday, and he was like, yo, you still want to jam? I was like this close to say no, cause I was like so comfy in my house. I was like, fuck it. He's a cool
Sitting home playing FIFA.
yeah, whatever, you know. So I was like, fuck it, he's a cool guy. Let's play some music. And I go to Fosie's house. They're both there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, here are the songs. And I was like, What? We have songs? And they're like,
I thought we
yeah.
were just gonna jam.
Yeah, they're like, well, you're in a band now. I was like, shit.
You're in the band now.
Like,
Do I get a choice?
Pick up the bass. Let's go, dude.
yeah, so it was
And he did just that.
without consent, but
Yeah, I stole him. I was like,
I
"You're playing with us
consented
now."
after. But
They just
Were
kind of.
you were you playing with anybody at the time?
no, not
Not really?
I think this is
Not really.
it's probably my second band here in Salt Lake. I played with what's the
Midnight
Midnight Palm
Palm.
for a while. I
Midnight
don't know.
Palm.
I mean, they're still around. I don't know. Haven't seen them
Like
playing live.
Gwen.
When a couple of people for sure, good musicians. But yeah, I didn't play with them for a while, and then I just started playing with Blood Moon.
Oh, so I guess back to the name. It wasn't. Yeah, originally I'm not gonna say it because I was getting
Oh,
actually
so
I was
much
getting
hate.
I was getting hate mail, dude. I was getting
reason-
hate mail. So I changed it to Smoky Days, I think it was for a minute, and then that sounded too stonery.
No, it was Smoky Haze, wasn't it?
Smoky Days because it was like DAZE, and I was like, wait, that's too cliche.
Kind of cool though.
It's
I
kind of
wonder
cool.
if anyone else is gonna take that after this.
That's fine. They can take it. That's fine.
What
if you
about
want
a
the
song
name,
title?
take it. Huh?
You can use it for a song title.
A song title, something.
Yeah, we had
something.
another buddy of ours on the podcast, and they're all of the song titles on their first record were all like failed band names. So like they're like, oh, we didn't choose these ones, but we'll use them as
Still use
as
them
names,
for something.
yeah, song names. It was
Still
like, oh,
use
that's
them for
genius.
something.
Yeah.
Recycle them, and
Why
then
not?
and then it went to like some other one for like a day. One was for like 3 weeks. One
So
was
smoke
like a
days,
day.
then another one for a day, and then
Yeah, and then so I was really
For days.
I was really trying to like
Smoke
culminate.
182.
Wow.
Smoke Day.
They're coming back. Shout out Travis Barker.
Blood Moon doesn't sound that bad now.
So then I was having like a revelation. Literally, I was asleep, dude, and all of a sudden it just came to me, and I was trying to conjure up something that was kind of mystical. Mystical, kind of in this new direction, because
Spooky.
everything before was like
The
so
guy asked for
rigid,
something
and so hard, and it was like heavy and all that stuff, and so everybody was talking about like the wolf blood moon, or like the super wolf blood moon or whatever the hell it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it was like buzzing around everywhere, and then I was like, wait, blood moon sounds pretty cool, and I was like, that's like sacrifice, incantations, witchy spells.
Witchy
Opens up a whole other
spells.
spectrum of like songs like that you can write.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
true.
And a lot of my influences have always been like Uncle Acid, and like, I mean, that's a big gateway into like a big pool of musicians. But Uncle Acid, like psychedelic, stoner, kind of,
Yeah.
raising the Dark Lord.
I feel like you and I have always like. I feel like that's why we started being friends in high school. Is we always had the same taste in music from everything, from Coheed to Devil Wears Prada to all these different
Right.
bands
Santana.
and rock and all this. Oh yeah, we got that Santana record for 50 cents from the DI because it had boobs on it.
Oh yeah, you told me
Yeah.
to buy it, and it was actually a good one. I think that was Abraxas, dude. Santana Abraxas.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Was this like 2-3 years ago?
No,
No, that was forever ago, dude.
that was a long time ago.
I'm just playing.
It was this naked.
It was
lady.
actually yesterday.
It was, it was last
Yeah.
night actually. It was like
This
this
morning.
naked lady floating through the sky. It was tight.
You were like, yeah, we're
Naked
getting
moon.
that.
Naked
Naked
man.
man.
Naked man.
Hell
Naked
yeah.
man. Florida
That-
man.
You
Yeah, Florida
you
man.
saying that kind of reminded me. You painted the bass drum, right?
So
you painted that.
so
like
Foisey-
Jack White, right? Or
Foisey
you
painted
did?
the bass drum.
Bass drum?
What
you,
I did.
You designed it, right?
What I did.
No,
I had.
I did. That was
Okay.
all me.
Let the
Foisey.
record.
Foisey.
Let the record stay.
Foisey, for the record, I had a cardboard cutout. I had a
No,
cardboard
you
cutout. I
didn't.
drew you a little ditty.
Oh shit!
I
Let's
drew
get
you a little
real.
ditty, and then you took over.
No.
I give you full credit. I give you full credit.
That is not how that worked. I got a piece of cardboard and I drew that on there with a Sharpie and I cut it out with an X-Acto knife and I sprayed it on there. That was all me, you motherfucker.
No, when you did on the
You drew
on
it
the
on a
drum
little
bass,
piece of paper and
We're
said
already
kind of
having
like
legal
this.
problems.
intellectual rights.
I
Copyright,
think-
motherfucker.
I think there's
It was
only one way to settle this: bare knuckle boxing.
All right, I'm down.
All right, let's go, dude.
All right.
You both got rings on.
Let's
Yeah.
go. You'll break your
Very
finger,
good.
dude. You'll
will.
break your own finger.
Nah.
But I give full credit to Foisey. Blood Moon.
Yes.
Blood Moon. I gave a little inspiration,
Okay.
a tidbit.
Yes.
But I give you full
He did.
full
He showed,
credit for that.
Yeah, he said it should look like it's smoky.
Like,
like it's
psychedelic, like
60s.
melting,
Yeah.
like 60s, in
Yeah.
a circle and kind of windy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so the two, what I like that you did about that, like the two O's in moon is almost like yin and yang. It's almost like that paisley kind of shape, So
Like
that's what I
gummies
like about
under
it.
the sun.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
The what?
Gummies under the sun.
Gummies under the sun.
Or like on the microwave.
Special gummies.
That's how I see it. That's how I perceive them.
So
in the
gummies,
microwave
69
in the sun. Jesus, dude.
Could be magic once. I don't know.
I mean, so you guys
Yes.
finally got together, started doing. I mean, you guys played a lot of shows up in Salt Lake and everything else.
Yeah.
And like we talked about, the whole podcast is about highlighting the low lights. So do you have like any funny, bad? I mean, so
God.
aside from the AC story of our show, what any other
yes.
funny stories?
My worst was the one we just talked about. So,
Yeah.
I think I
Dude,
already
it was so hot. It was miserable, and I felt so bad too because it's not just like us suffering. It's all the fans, everybody else that came out to support the show, all the other bands, because it was even hotter on stage. And I was just like, "Fuck! I've never been to this venue, and it's letting me down." Because on the photos on Instagram, it looked like a cool place.
It looks cool.
But then we got there, I'm like, "Oh, this is a shithole." Fuck you. I was literally like, I don't care if I ever play here
Tyler's
again.
like,
This is
"Ew, yikes,
I don't
dude."
care if I ever.
What if
play
I
here
wanted to
again.
play?
Yeah, what if you still wanted to
Fuck
play?
that.
Well,
No.
hey, you were associated with
That's why
him,
I
and
laughed-
now you can't play here anymore.
I was laughing so hard when you were doing that. You're like, what the fuck? Just calling them on their shit. I loved it.
I'm
I
kind
loved
of
it.
blunt about things like that.
Well, you should be.
I don't
That's
care,
fucked
dude.
up. Get
Well,
some AC.
they had AC upstairs in that top room. Why the hell not just run that down right on top of the stage, assholes?
I know, seriously. I don't hate you. Just do better. Okay,
Stop
so
fucking
Get that ocean breeze in there.
ooh, baby, Febreze. The worst show experience for me was this time last year because Fernando's birthday is like around the end of October. I got invited to a Halloween party. He had been already on a bender for like 3 days before, and then we went to this cabin party in Heber. I invited him. He brought his whole posse, like 8 people, dude. So we roll up like 10 people deep, including him and I. And then the party's like, everybody's like knows each other, and they're like, "Who the fuck are you guys, dude? Who the fuck invited you guys?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, like I know this person." So we're hanging out. Eventually, they took over the hot tub all night until 6 a.m. Got kicked
For
out.
sure. We were the me and my friend bro. We were the last ones. Like the girl from the party was like, "Yo, are you guys leaving at some point?" And we're like, "We have to." Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Aw,
And then they thought I
weird.
left. They thought I left. Anyway, everybody was super wasted. And then we had a show that next evening. Okay, so he had already been
So
up.
you're all over hungover.
He had already been up for like 3 days. He's like, literally, bro, I slept like 4 hours the last 3 days. Okay, so they get back. We were in Heber. They get back to Salt Lake. And I was like, bro, like wake up around like 3:34, like so we can wake up. PM.
Not AM,
the next
not something
evening.
odd.
The
PM.
next evening for the show, at least like go get some sleep. They left at like 9, 10 in the morning. And I'm like, go home, get some rest. I'll call you, go pick you up, and then we'll go to the venue and we'll like get set up.
So what venue is this? And then like,
Quarters.
Who are you playing with?
God.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I forget, dude.
Anyways,
I forget.
so-
So I like Quarters. Loading in is a nightmare, but I like Quarters. Anyway, so I call him, no answer. I'm like all worried, dude. I'm like, oh no. He's going to be asleep. He's going to be passed out. He didn't charge his phone. He's like, I have no idea where he is. I go back to town.
I have no memory of this.
I go back to town. We went to Little Willie's. Shout out Little Willie's.
Shout out to Willis for sure.
Slack, what's up, bro? And then I asked Slack, I was like, dude, have you seen Fernando? He's like, yeah, he was in here earlier. And I'm like, this son of a bitch was drinking, dude. He's drinking. He's wasted. He's going to be passed out in a gutter somewhere. And then I'm calling him again. No answer.
We're gonna
no
have to
answer,
white
no
stripes
answer.
this show.
Yeah, we're just going to have to me and Foisey, dude. And then, I go to his apartment. He lives on the 5th floor all the way down the hall. So I'm sprinting. Dude.
Wait,
And
so at this point, it's like right before you play?
it was dude, literally now at this time it was like 6 p.m. We had to be at the venue like 7 p.m. And I'm like,
So
I don't
you're
know.
at his, so you're just like, we gotta fucking go.
I'm like, we have to go. We have to go.
Loading.
And then
come on,
so
vamonos.
I get to the door. I'm like banging on the door. I'm like, oh, Fernando, open up, dude. There's these. It's hilarious because the only day I've ever seen missionaries at this place was right next door, and they're looking at me like a madman. They're like, and this is why we don't do drugs. so the lights are off. It's quiet. I'm like, okay, last ditch effort, dude. I'm gonna open the door. I open the door. It's open. Thank God, dude. So I walk in there.
Open?
Luckily you
the
didn't
door.
lock
I mean,
the
the door
door.
was unlocked. The door was unlocked, and I walk into his bed. This motherfucker's laying like Dracula, dude. Hands crossed over his chest, one leg off the bed. He's just like. And so I'm like, come on, man, like let's wake up. Tapping on the shoulder. He doesn't wake up. I am elated right now. I'm like irate, dude. So I grab the lapels of his leather jacket, dude. I pick him up, put him upright, and I'm like, wake up, dude. I'm shaking him, like slapping his face. I'm like, wake up, dude. He's still dressed. He's still dressed from like 3 days before.
Ready, dude.
Hadn't changed clothes, and he's like, where are we going? I'm like, we have a show to play. Let's go, dude. And I'm like, I have your wallet, I have your phone, I have your keys, cigarettes, everything. I'm like, let's just go. Okay, so I stand him upright. I let him go for like 3 seconds. I went to the restroom and I'm like, okay, let's go. Falls asleep on the couch again.
Was he like this?
Oh my God, he was just like out now like this.
I love it.
I woke him up and
Rock
then dude
and roll.
literally had to put my arm over his shoulder and like fireman carry him all the way down the hall into my car. We
Like
get
a
to
backpack, dude. That was just.
like a backpack. We get to
It's like
quarters.
the Elvis where he's like, oh, the only thing that matters is this man gets on stage.
Yeah, exactly, dude. That's the only thing
Dude.
that matters. And so we get to quarters. He's like still halfway asleep.
Well, that was
Like,
a rough ass day, dude.
Oh.
Like,
after
just
3
moving
days.
everything.
After 3 days, you slept for like an hour or two, and then to play a show all night. And then I would stand him up like against the wall, dude. Just like prop him up against the wall, and I'm like, we have to move stuff, and we had to go all the way up and down 3 flights of stairs. This dude's dead. Talking about it, he drinks a Monster. He's like, I'm already tired just thinking about that, dude.
I love that your
The
worst
show went okay?
experience ever with
So-
this band is me.
Yeah, more or less.
So I just the
This
show.
is
'cause-
this is
oh my
a
God,
great story.
that
This is where
was-
the best stories come from.
That was so stressful, dude. And so I think we played. It was cool. It
Were
was
you
kick ass.
falling asleep while you're playing?
It was kick ass.
No, I woke up at some point.
I think you woke up, and then after that,
The
it was
rock
good.
and roll woke him up.
Yeah, I think finally it was good. But just the precursor to the show was, oh my God.
I fucking love
It's kind
it.
of a hassle.
Is there anything else you guys want to promote or talk about? Your socials you want to talk about? Or
Yeah,
plug before we leave?
obviously the socials, Instagram, Facebook, Blood Moon Online,
Linktree.
Linktree. Yeah, we have stuff on YouTube. You know, just like little
OnlyFans is
snippets.
coming up.
Yeah, our OnlyFans account.
OnlyFans, Patreon.
We get real weird.
I'm gonna
Only
put,
moons.
I'm gonna put my.
I'll
Yeah,
take that
Blood
one.
Moon sounds too weird.
Only
for
Bloods.
OnlyFans.
Ah.
Nice.
all the gangbangers are gonna be out there.
Yeah.
What's up?
Put up your rocker.
Yo,
Hey God,
this
what's
is a
up,
page.
fool? So after we play this one, I think we're gonna take November and December and just really get into writing new stuff. We have like,
Yeah.
dude, we have like 10 songs we've like been working on there on my laptop, and we could literally just pick like this one, or take little pieces of whatever, and it's good to have kind of that backlog of stuff. So winter, we're gonna be working on stuff. Hopefully spring, gonna go back to Wes and
Yeah.
put
All
new
right.
stuff out.
You guys heard it here first. New music.
Yeah.
Blood Moon.
Yes,
Keep an eye
sir, dude. That's kind of our
Sacrifice a
thing.
lamb.
That's kind of our thing.
Bloody fans?
Or a child,
Bloody
depending on
Bloody
Bloody
fans.
fans.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. It was
Oh, yeah,
it was a
dude.
pleasure. Always fun
Oh, yeah.
seeing my guy. All right, if someone could just say explosive real quick to get us out.
Explosive.
Thanks for listening to You Guys Shred.